Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Jab stepping, it's the brick. Swing and a miss.
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
Get an intro out. Because, guys, it is now confirmed. Brittney Griner, Brett Griner, I don't know what to actually call them, but it seems like him, Brittney Griner has confirmed that she is.
It was a moment broadcast live. A supposed racist slur directed specifically at the league's new sensation for millions to witness. The WNBA, an organization that insists loud and proud on no room for hate, reacted with a scripted silence that spoke volumes that a chilling demonstration of selective vision. This wasn't about handing out instant justice. It was about shielding the untouchable. But the complete unnerving reality that lies behind that protection and the appalling cost of the league's duplicity is much more sinister than anyone ever could have conceived. Prepare to discover how a single reported outburst exposed a deeply entrenched system in which cash and influence determine who gets the actual punishment.
You don't know who Brittney Griner is? She is a WNBA star for about a year ago. Personal occasion as it happened for her.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops.
24. I don't care if a woman and a woman want to. Good on that too then. But
It started with a flash, a brief instant snapped by scores of cameras. A moment immediately that soon fueled a blaze across the internet. The moment, an intense showdown, stakes enormous, a disputed foul out. As the players strode off court, angry, the video proof played on repeat started narrating a damning tale. Their mouths moved, shaping words which caused shock waves around the sporting world at a clear, undeniable exploit followed by a so-called racial slur aimed at the league's fast-rising new phenomenon. The video was raw, on the fly, and it created a basketball game into a cultural lightning rod in seconds. To millions viewing, the response to what had been spoken was appallingly obvious, and the need for accountability came immediately and loudly. It's the league that shielded her for weeks, just made a choice that alters everything.
Other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops. Please tell me how exciting that is for you and what you're looking forward to most.
I'm super excited. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just drop it. He's here. So he's here. Yes. 7'8", 24. Yeah, 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Yeah, that's my man.
I love that.
He is amazing. They say, you know, as soon as you see him, it's just like everything that you thought mattered just goes out the window. And that's literally what happens. It's kind of sucks because I got to leave.
Yeah.
It's the league that protected her for weeks just made a decision that changes everything. Greer's career might be over. And honestly, she earned every bit of what's...
Greer's career could be finished. And to be honest, she deserved every ounce of what's on the way. What ensued was a silence that cried out volumes. The league, which had a reputation for quick and sometimes sensational reactions to perceived injustices, particularly racial ones, appeared to stumble. This was the same league that had previously initiated full-scale probes and issued strong denunciations over phantom slurs allegedly bellowed by spectators. But when one of their own, an elite veteran, was caught red-handed on TV allegedly spewing a naked racial epithet, the reaction was deafeningly silent. Not merely in action, that IT seemed a calculated game of damage control, frantic to protect their beloved star at all costs. The message was chillingly clear. Certain boundaries might be breached without prompt repercussions based on who was breaching them, disclosing a profoundly disturbing pattern of selective accountability. The public at large wasn't so easily placated, though.
And it's all because she's confirming seemingly that she fathered her child. So he and his wife had fathered a new baby. The wife just had a baby. And you have to look at this clip to believe what is actually going on. I am confused. Well, I'm not confused, but this may be confirmation.
The anger grew, a tsunami of calls for actual accountability that swept through social media and news sites. Fans, sports commentators, and the fast-growing army of the emerging star fans shouted foul, demanding harsh penalties proportionate to the supposed racist comment. They referred to the league's own public declarations against encouraging inclusiveness and combating hate, pointing out that these values just seemed to go out the door when a star player was involved. Anger was evident. Fans felt that the league was more interested in optics and defending a troubled figure than upholding its own loudly touted values. It was not so much about a basketball game anymore. It was about the integrity of an organization that promoted itself as being about justice and fairness. Adding oil to the flames was the athlete's own troubled past, a record that had already created an aura of invincibility around them.
I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, "F***ing white girl." Now, I think it was my old friend Jamel Hill, used to work with her at ESPN. I believe Jamel said,
Many could not help but recall the record international exchange where the country essentially traded a convicted arms dealer in order to get back home. What did the sportsperson do in return? Months after, they were supposedly photographed spewing racially insulting comments about another American sportsperson. This was not a one-time incident. There had been past public grievances regarding rowdy noise from the crowd when fans did, in fact, materialize in an overall sense of entitlement that had long trailed their career. To most, it seemed like a history of ingratitude, an attitude that they were somehow above repercussions that held for everyone else. The public questioned whether this time as well they would just get away with it, solidifying their untouchable image. But something had irrevocably changed. An earthquake shift that no one, not even the league, could deny. The up-and-coming star's unequivocal effect
is trending again, but as per usual, it's not really for any good reason. Brittney Griner is under fire for extremely aggressive behavior portrayed toward Caitlin Clark, the rookie from last year, the one that has everybody's focus in the WNBA. And this incident has, of course, gone viral online, but also sparked up some other skeletons in Brittney's closet.
This newcomer was more than a player. They were a phenomenon. They attracted record viewership, new endorsement contracts, and a deluge of new money to a league that was clamoring for broad appeal. These new sponsors, these new fans, weren't going to sit still if they witnessed outright racism and unbridled entitlement on the loose. For the first time, the economic argument for responsibility finally trumped the political math of shielding. And that's when the actual fallout for the veteran player became apparent, exposing the league's genuine priorities. A fine for failure to show up at post-game media sessions, not for the purported racial slur that IT was a cold, irrefutable validation that money, not principle, was the final trigger. And that real justice for the purported racism continued to elude this jaw-dropping discovery, tore the veneer off the league's much ballyhooed no space for hate campaign. For too long, it was just that, an empty phrase.
Seeing the 3 games, what else happened to everybody else?
I mean, I know there's always consequences to actions. You know, what I did, I already know that I was going to get, some time for that. And, I respect, I got 3 games. Okay. Not disputing that at all. Do I think that it should have been 3 across the board, boom, everybody involved in it, 3-3-3. I think that would have been honestly fair. I would have been happy today with that. Not today, and it's not because of my suspension. I'd say
they launched this initiative with thunderous applause, promoting an image of progressive values and inclusivity. Yet, when faced with the most blatant violation of those very values from one of their own stars, they turned a blind eye to the alleged racial component, instead issuing a technical fine for media availability. The hypocrisy was staggering, even by professional sports standards. It wasn't a commitment to principle that motivated their action.
Griner is playing a game, and this is what Brittney Griner calls. I was not going to comment on any of this stuff until this took place. Watch what she says. The entire internet has reacted to this. Here's Brittney Griner. They're playing against the Indiana Fever, and look what she's saying. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
Well, that pretty much sounds like trash effing white girl.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest.
So the whole market reacts to this with Brittney Griner, right? And then The other quote, Rob, then I'm going to wrap this up and then I'm going to go to Adam. Put the quote of Brittney Griner, what she said about the NBA. This is so funny how all this stuff works out, right? She says, this is from Brittney. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there, watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. It's called a freaking game that they pay you money to play. Don't play.
It was pressure from outside and the unavoidable business risk of alienating an enormous new fan base. This laid bare just how empty their alleged commitment really was, showing a cynical marketing gimmick disguised as moral leadership. The backlash from this selective accountability still ripples. Players who previously thought they were invincible, who thought they were assured protection from leadership, now find themselves looking over their shoulders, asking themselves if their own previous actions will be examined. Trust among fans, already tenuous, has been diluted even further. Walkaways have returned to the stands, but with a wary, critical eye, wondering if the league is really committed to the expressed values it touts, or if this was merely a reactive response to prevent a calamitous money and public relations problem.
Adam Johnson. BG, right now you have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding. We're going to send it back to you guys. Very important.
This brings into focus an important question. Will this moment compel a real cultural change where accountability is evenly applied to everyone? Or was it merely a temporary strategic maneuver in the face of overwhelming external pressure? The answer will define the league's future and its standing with a public increasingly demanding authentic leadership. So, where does this leave us? An untouchable star faced a reckoning, but the justice delivered felt incomplete. Applied selectively, the event highlighted a league torn between its stated ideals and its inherent unwillingness to hold its largest stars entirely accountable. It served as a poignant reminder that oftentimes the real cost of being untouchable is not sensational downfall, but rather a quiet adjustment that has everyone questioning whether genuine accountability ever truly materialized. Was justice delivered or simply avoided? The debate, much like the controversy itself, continues to echo across the sports world. What are your thoughts on this unfolding situation? Share them in the comments below.